If you're building a go high level agency, client acquisition is going to be your bottleneck. Not the tech, not the fulfillment, but getting consistent clients to pay you month after month. And that's what John solved. And it's also how he built his agency to past 8K per month, selling AI agents, reputation management, and other high level services. Crazy part too, instead of John relying on long sales calls, he's been using the AI self-selling demo to do the hard selling for him to bring him clients. And in this video, we're going to break down John's entire system step by step so you can use it. So John, what is your current monthly revenue looking like with High Level, with the agency?
Yeah, so right now with High Level, I'm making $8,000 a month. So doing really well with it.
I love that. And do you have a number of clients? Can you list like how many clients you got?
Yeah, right now I have 7 clients on a full-time recurring monthly plan.
I love that. Wait, John, are you doing the self-selling demo too? Are you kind of
I
mixing
am.
that in?
Yeah, so I recently started that and it's been fantastic. It's really, really helped out a lot in the sales process and kind of from multiple ways. A, it's been easier to close, and B, it kind of also takes the pressure off of me in the sales process, which I like.
Yeah, well, hence the self-selling.
Yeah.
Let's actually just jump into the self-selling. Guys, we got a lot of stuff for you. We're going to be unpacking of John's successes, but let's go into that. What exactly is this self-selling demo and how does it work? Because I know I've had other people on the YouTube channel where they're crushing with it. You're crushing with it clearly. It's helping add a lot of recurring revenue. But let's talk about this a bit because this is a big thing that I'm seeing and it's a huge opportunity. And people like yourself are crushing with it and a lot of others. So this is a real thing, but people need to know more about it. So let's jump into that.
Yeah, no, it's really fantastic. I mean, literally, you just have a demo site, like and these are pretty much what I use is the snapshots you provided in the community, whether it be like the law firm, like with Lexi, the AI voice receptionist you created in your law firm snapshot, or the Ryan's Roofing snapshot. I just use those, converted them into a demo site, and then literally just hand it off to prospects and tell them to play with it. Like, play with it, act like your clients, like how you perceive your clients to be, go crazy, be as mean or as angry as you want, or be as friendly as you want. And honestly, I'll come back in, a day or two and we'll talk about it.
John, would you say this is kind of the future for AI and self-selling on a high level? Because I'm seeing a ton of people. Again, it's not just Shayla, it's me and so many other people utilizing this kind of demo, and it's getting awesome results. But I'm curious as to what you think about kind of the future going this way. Because for those watching, I mean, guys, this is the perfect beginner thing and advanced thing to sell. It's the best of both worlds. So what do you think about that? Where this is going?
I definitely think it is because when you do that, now they're selling themselves because they're now viewing it like their customers will view it. So they're literally being their customers, and they're going to see what their customers will see when they sign up instead of you telling them like, hey, this is what the data says. This is what, I can show you, this, that, and the other thing, which, I'm not trying to take away from that type of selling. Sometimes you need it, but this is just so much easier because they're literally putting themselves in their customers' shoes and they firsthand see and experience it. So now they have the confidence knowing like, hey, when I buy this, like my customers are going to be taken care of. I'm not going to miss out on calls. I really am going to get what he's saying I'm going to get as far as like, if I'm on a job or in the courtroom or whatever, this is going to take care of my, calls and my clients, and I'm going to have appointments on my calendar and things are going to get taken care of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And well, that's the beauty of it. It's actually valuable. And I think that's what a lot of people are forgetting. Like, this isn't actually a very valuable service. These AI receptionists and all this stuff.
Yeah.
No, I 100% agree with that. So did you recently quit your job too? Because you were working full time and it seems like you have officially, now that you're at 8K a month and moving, you've officially left the 9 to 5. Or am I wrong?
You're not wrong. I left in early December last year, one full-time business owner. So I remember made the announcement, I know thanks to your training that, and basically, yeah, like literally the first week in December, walked away from the full-time job, went full-time business owner, and I haven't looked back since, and it's been the best decision I could have ever made.
I love to hear it. Isn't it great not having to work 9 to 5?
It totally is.
No, I love it. Actually, John, let's do this because I think this would be really important. because a lot of people were in your shoes, and they are. Okay, you guys have a 9 to 5, you have a job you don't like, or you want to do the whole remote, work online thing. What is some advice you're going to give people? Because people are scared to make that jump. It takes time. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Like, let's have some pieces of action advice you can give people watching right now to prepare for quitting their job and moving full into the AI agency, high level agency space. Because, like, this is where a lot of people want to get, and it is possible. But, like, you need to kind of have the right mindset. So let's give some action pieces for this because people need this.
No, absolutely. You're 100% right. And I remember you giving me these same actionable pieces, and I've just kind of stuck to it when I was gearing up to leave my job. But prospect like a maniac, make sure your pipeline is full because you want the sales to, keep going once you leave your job. Your job is not leaving your job doesn't mean you leave your business. That's when you can really focus on your business, make it even bigger. So prospect like a maniac, fill that pipeline up. And then, because you're going to have now 40 more hours back in your week to go do this, and actually it's prime business building hours that you're going to have. So you're really going to be able to make some headwinds through your prospects at that point. So have a full pipeline, prospect like a maniac, and keep prospecting. That's my biggest, actionable item I can give you is just a full pipeline and full on prospecting. That's the best thing you can do walking into your job. And then obviously make sure you have some savings. You don't want to walk away from your job and have like next to nothing in your bank accounts. And make sure you have a little bit of savings just in case anything happens, because life can happen no matter what, whether you have a job or not. But just to make sure you're covered there. So have a little bit of savings and make sure you have a good sense of like your monthly revenue that's coming in. Like when I walked away from my job, I was sitting at, $6,000 or a little under that, not in recurring, but just altogether coming in from, one-timers plus monthly. Whereas now, like just my monthly recurring that I literally sit there and collect and don't have to go out there and win is at $8,000. But have a good sense of that so you know what you're getting into when you're walking away from your job, and get ready and to enjoy it. You'll be surprised how freeing it feels to not have a 9 to 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a big difference here. So John, this is another question that people might be asking. I think is really good for people watching is like, how do you fill your pipeline? Because obviously we're talking about the self-selling demo, we're talking about this, but how did you do that? Because I want to be giving the people watching as many action pieces to take so they can start doing this, not just us talking. So what are a couple ways you have filled your pipeline and continue to fill your pipeline? Obviously there's multiple different ways, but what are the ways you do?
Yeah, so the ways I do it, for me, what works best is going to in-person networking events. So I found different in-person networking events, in my area. I joined a local networking group. I joined my local chamber, which not only doing that gives me regular networking opportunities, but they also have events that you can go to when you join and become a member that are free for members. So that gave me access to all these different local networking events, and I would just go work the room. And what I mean by work the room, I'm not literally sitting there doing demos on the spot with these people. I'm literally sitting there having a conversation with somebody, learning about their business first and foremost, and then B, sharing a little bit about what I do to gauge their interest, and then getting their business card and collecting their business card. And then after that event, usually within 24 hours, sometimes 48. So I would say within 24 or 48 hours, I'm reaching out to them to set up some kind of a one-on-one meeting I can have with them where I can sit down and have a conversation with them about business and pain points. And then I literally can give them the self demo at that one-on-one meeting and say, hey, play with this and let me know your thoughts. And I'll follow back up with you. Either I'll book another meeting right away at that meeting saying, hey, we'll get together on this date. Or depending on circumstance, I will say, hey, let me give you a call on this date and follow up with you that way.
I love that. And that's one of many ways you can hack your pipeline. There's cold email, there's cold SMS, there's webinars. I mean, there's so many different ways. But I think the thing that I'm picking up, John, with this for everyone watching, you need to do is find a way that works for you. Keep doing it. Because if your pipeline just dries up, like Dude, that is the worst. You're not going to get anywhere. So it's keeping that constant packed is what's going to enable you to stack that recurring revenue and then be able to quit your job and stuff.
Exactly. And like honestly, as a full-time business owner, that's the scariest thing you can have is a dry pipeline.
Oh yeah, no, it's death essentially to your
Yeah.
business. So John, this is something also I want to ask because I think it's really important for everyone watching is what are some mindset things people should get into? Because a lot of this is mindset. It's understanding volume. It's understanding staying consistent. What are some piece of advice as far as mindset is concerned that you would give new agency owners or advanced people that are trying to either scale with high level or make money with it? What are some of the things that you have to say to them?
Honestly, work hard. There's gonna be times where it
The
feels
generic
overwhelming.
ones.
Yeah. It's gonna be times when it feels overwhelming and you can be like, this is so stressful, but that happens and just keep pushing through it as you're scaling. So like I don't want to say this as like to scare people, but if you're feeling like you're a slave to your business, that's a good thing to have when you're scaling because that means you're growing.
Yep.
Like to have a problem where you need to actually bring in like a virtual assistant or something, like in the scaling problem, that's a good problem to have. So if you're feeling that, like enjoy it, even though it's really stressful, because that means you're growing and your business is taking off, and that's what you want, because that means the dollar bills are rolling in. So that's my biggest thing for people who are like scaling their business is keep that up and just enjoy the overwhelming workload. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And it's also the kind of thing where it's like sometimes the pain of one thing is better than the pain of another. So the
Yeah,
pain of having a lot of clients and people coming in is better than the pain of having no clients. They're both
exactly.
painful. One's just better.
Mhm. Exactly. That trust me, I would rather have that pain of like all these clients coming in and trying to figure out how to take care of them all in a timely manner versus and not having any coming in. I'm wondering where I'm gonna my next paycheck is coming in, so to speak.
Yeah. Actually, one thing I wanted to ask you, John, I think this is really important. And
Mhm.
again, obviously, before I preface this question, you guys have to understand there are no such thing as guarantees in this industry. Okay, this is obviously for educational purposes, not to ask you, but in you making 8K a month and you're slowly scaling, like you showed me some of your stuff, you'll probably be at 10, 20, 30 by the end of this year. Who knows? I mean, you're obviously scaling quickly. With what you're doing, do you think this is possible for most people to make past 10K a month? Honestly, no bullshit. No, oh yeah, of course anyone can, but like you went from zero. I remember when I first started talking to you, you had zero. You were broke. You didn't understand anything. Now you're getting close to breaking that 10K barrier. So, John, do you really think it is possible for beginners and anyone really to do this high level?
Absolutely, you can definitely make 10K a month using the software. As long as you study it, you learn from it, you can do it. It's not that hard. Like, I mean, trust me, I'm not the most tech savvy person there is, and I can make it work. Obviously, I'm not saying that to customers, but yeah, I trust me. If I can make it work, anybody can because as long as you study, become a student of it, learn it, you can set this up and be successful with it and hit 10K a month. Like I'm not BSing anybody here when I say that.
I love that. And again, guys, that's not a guarantee. This is obviously for educational purposes. John, what would you say the biggest problem, let's say, that stops people from doing that? Because there's a lot of people that try online business models. They do. And a lot of people fail. While people succeed.
Yeah. No, a lot of it is because people don't prospect. They get so caught up in I got to have everything perfect on the tech side and know how to take care of customers that they don't go out there to try and find customers. Like I did not know high level really at all until I got my first customer. So that's the biggest thing is like is prospect. Like if you don't prospect, it doesn't matter how much you're learning about it because you're not going to be able to apply it. Like you can only take your own personal sub account so far. You need to actually go out there and get clients because that's what's going to get you real world experience. So, like, that's the number one thing that holds people back is they don't prospect.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the killer always. I guess let's wrap with this, John, because we got a couple last things I ask you. But what's one of the things you like most about working your own hours now? Because you quit the job.
Well, my biggest thing, I love the freedom it has. Like, I can go anywhere to work. I can work whatever hours I want. If I want to take a 2 hour break in the middle of the day, so to speak, like I can go do that. Like I'm not to set on anybody's schedule. I can literally go work my own schedule, my own hours. Like, next week I'm going to Florida with my wife for a little vacation. I'm taking my computer. I'm going to be doing my work there. Well, we're just going to be in, Florida for the week, enjoying the warm weather instead of up here in the cold Northeast. So, like, literally, I can have that freedom. I don't have to worry about asking my boss, oh, hey, boss, I need to take off next week. And then be like, all right, that's one less week of vacation you have already. It's like, no, it's like, I'm just going to go work while I'm staying in Florida for a week and then come back. Well, everybody else has to like ask their boss permission to go do that. And then, like I said, if I want to take the middle of the day off and go do something for a few hours, I can go do that. If I want to, sleep in one day and start working at 11, not have to worry, I can do that. If I want to get up early and start working at 7 a.m., I can do that too. Like, just that whole freedom of like, I choose when I put myself to work, not having some boss saying you have to be here at 9 a.m. and you have to stay until 5 p.m. Like when I get everything I need to get done for that day, then I'm done, no matter what. It takes me, 10, 12 hours, because I have a big project I'm finishing, or if it takes me 2 hours because I just got a few things I got to do, it doesn't matter.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, no, that's definitely facts. Is there one piece of advice you can give to someone watching right now, especially a beginner, on what to do next?
My best bit of advice for you is to go out there and prospect. Like, go find a way to prospect. Go figure out your niche because, like, there's so many different ways to prospect. You just got to find what works for you. What works for me is in-person networking events, and then, getting leads that way. But that might not work for you, and that's totally fine. But find a way that prospecting works for you and stick to it and run it into the ground, so to speak. Meaning, don't give up. Just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And trust me, you will have the success.
I love to hear that, John. John, thank you so much for being here, guys. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Obviously, I will answer, but John will also answer from his YouTube account or his channel, so to speak, so we can both get all of you guys, answered up. But again, thank you guys for watching. John, thank you so much for being here. Keep crushing it, and I look forward to seeing you break 10, 15, 20K, man, this year. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all or anything you're wondering, drop a comment down below. I will answer personally. Also, have John come in and answer questions related on him too. That way we can both answer your questions. What I want to do now is I want to link a video at the end of this video. It's going to show you the exact community where John learned all this amazing stuff, okay? John learned it from somewhere, okay? And that is the community I'm going to link at the end of this. This video is not too long. Also, I'm not trying to sell you some outdated course or high-ticket coaching. Don't worry. But this is going to show you what this community is, how you can get it all completely for free when you sign up with my high-level link down below, and how we can give you the ultimate hand-holding experience to guide you from beginner to more advanced. And again, all of that is free when you sign up with that link down below. And you can find out about it by watching the video that pops up at the end of this one.